I actually want to understand this a little deeper because I see this as one of the common explanations from a lot of women on Twitter too, on X currently. I genuinely want to understand what actually goes through a typical girl's mind, the adolescent ones, the one who came of age and is in the reproductive age, which is when they are typically told, don't do this, don't do that. What goes on inside them from this, let's say 12 to 18, that they feel they don't have any freedom? I do think that there is some truth to what women are saying, that yes, they are told to not do certain things. But I want to understand if that's too much of an issue enough for them to worry about, or are they making a mountain out of a molehill? I also want to understand, how does it feel for that adolescent girl when she's just trying to figure out the world and how men are, how women are, etc. How bad she feels actually at being, let's say, restricted from doing certain things. It could be dressing, it could be not going out, it could be sitting in a certain way. I mean, these are told to women, right? Yeah,
Always.
I want to understand how that feels and why is it causing them frustration or resentment.
It is it's removing the freedom of self-determination. Now, I'm not saying that you let your kid do whatever, right? Like okay, if I had been going out and I don't know, actually, like if I had been 12 and had gotten a boyfriend, I mean, I still don't think that the culture would have led me to have sex at 12. You know what I mean? Like the fear is that a girl is going to get a boyfriend as a teenager and then have sex and go do drugs, which just other like completely is like disconnected from any truth of that girl's interior. I was a bookish kid. I wasn't going to go out and like no boy was even going to like me. Forget like going and having a boyfriend. The bigger issue I think was that growing up in Indian in America in the 90s, American culture was seen as very libertine. So, you know, the picture painted of American culture for me was sex obsessed and like, you know, all any man or boy wants to do is get in your pants and you have to be careful, blah, blah, blah. There was no leash. Like there was no leeway to actually go and make a mistake. The assumption is if you give any leeway, she will go make a mistake. And that feels like shit. It was like I was in a prison of, you know, my mother's making. And there's little reason for it. There's nothing to indicate that I would actually take that freedom and abuse it. Now, if you see all the girls around you getting more freedom than you and grow, you know, I of course saw the white girls getting way more freedom than me, being able to listen to whatever they wanted, watch whatever they wanted. If a show came on with kissing, like my parents would freak out and make me turn it off. So, and these are like teenage dramas in America that had kissing in like the 2000s. It was ridiculous. Um, and there's just a sort of shame about sex that's built into you and so then that ends up hampering you later in life because you're ashamed about sex when you have to like go be in a relationship, which you know has all sorts of psychological impacts. So if I had to recall what the teenage self of mine felt, it was wanting the freedom to try something and fuck up and like wanting the freedom to like go have friends and to go socialize. Because if you keep your daughter under lock and key, she will not have friends. Like if your intention is to stop her from having sex, she'll just not have friends, period. That'll be what it is. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's different in India now. I'm sure things have liberalized in India. It's that the Indians who emigrate to America carry or at least my generation, the parents of my generation carried 1970s. The IT Indians from the 90s carry 1990s. So we freeze India in our mind, we bring it here and we say, oh, this is Indian culture. And girls get the brunt of it. There's a lot of therapists out there, actually, like Indian American women therapists now who specialize in working with Indian American women in particular because we're so fucked up. And we're so fucked up because of the conservative culture that came with our parents.